All right, so I'm pretty much aware of this situation a little bit. Haven't really seen the details. Just been seeing the thumbnails, and I caught a top music attorney talking about it for a little bit. But I wanted to react to this whole thing myself and really get a grasp of what's going on with this whole sick boy because I've been seeing Ren's community posts and I didn't think it would get this deep, And but as the time goes on and we talk about it in this video, I just give my thoughts. Sometimes I'm just like a little uncomfortable with sharing thoughts outside of music, but this would be a good way for me to understand the mindset of the business side of the music industry, being this close to it, even when talking with Ren to some Ren situation. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
Ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boy has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am, they know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists.
Okay.
So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want this to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I'm emotionally affected by it.
You can
and that
tell.
may leak in,
I can tell.
right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of other those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here.
Now that is fair. That is fair. That's fair. Complete transparency. Complete transparency. So everybody amongst the community can understand, even the reactors. You know what I'm saying? So there's no room for fluff or misunderstanding. That's pretty dope. I like that. Let's get it.
To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called KujoBeats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc., right?
So basically what he's talking about, this is something that I'm very familiar with, especially when I used to rap on SoundClick. Beat producers would normally have their beats free to download, but you couldn't use it to make money. You couldn't stream it. You couldn't do nothing unless you bought the licenses. So if it was $99, like in his situation, it would be in some situations maybe $200, $300 to buy the full licensing. And they'll take the beat down, make it undownloadable. You can still listen to it, but make it undownloadable. And then so nobody else can buy that beat. A lot of those producers are very, very personal, not personal, but very, I forgot the word I was going to say, but a lot of those producers are very meticulous about that because you can't have artists legally using the same music on mixtapes, streaming platforms, CDs, all that. You can't do that, you know? So you'll never see 50 Cent rapping on the Sick Boy beat, you know? Just bad business practice in general. But let's go.
After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here just in case Kujo claims I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right?
Right.
That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like very soon in everywhere. And as far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right? So
that almost implies that this guy may have sampled something illegally. And yeah, I think that's where this might be going. He might have sampled something and now maybe he got in trouble for it, and then that's affecting Ren. So maybe that's how all this situation started. But let's
so yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat, I record a song, and this is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point.
Right.
I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. That's like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about.
Right.
I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face. Just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened.
Right.
And I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that, I think must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky. Like I just said that. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers.
Yeah, and BeatStars been around forever, man. BeatStars been around forever. I think when it comes to when producers upload beats, they should have either like their own content ID system that can go through the beat, or they should have to be completely transparent about what they used. So that protects BeatStars and the artist from this kind of thing happening. But let's go.
Let's be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there, make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boy has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy KujoBeats' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago, with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment in his YouTube comment section and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on?
All right, what he's saying? Hey man, want to understand what's going on with this dispute. I thought I had credited fairly everywhere. If you hadn't been, it's totally my bad. Was going through brain damage treatment at the time of your message, but I thought I updated it all correctly. In regards to the sample, we got a message saying that the sample of the choir had not been cleared, but I had nothing to do with that. With what happened the next day, that was my publisher. They told me they were dealing with it, and I heard nothing about it since. So I'm really confused as what's going on. But I love to sort it so everyone's happy, because I don't want, for your sake or mine, for this to happen to get legal. For this to need to get legal, because it's such a pain and costly. So if you just let me know who in my team you've been talking to and what they said, I'll get on it, because if it's something they've done wrong on their end, I want to get it resolved ASAP. I just really try to focus on the music and stay out of all things business. So I had no idea this was an ongoing dispute going on. Just got forwarded some comments from you replying to someone, which I was kind of surprised about. All right, let's go.
Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they are welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is all just
Okay, hold on. Okay. This official asked my legal rep not to request a strike since my rep has been in contact with your lawyer, who has been exceedingly incompetent. Lawyers. They say, yeah. Still waiting on updates from my rep at BeatStars. Hi man, had no idea who you even talking to. He should have told you. Said all I was told that a couple months ago the choir sample had been cleared and they were chasing us for money. And that has been dealt with. So I figured it'd been sorted behind the scenes. That's why all this is so surprising. I was also made aware of that, and I'm sorry that it caused you trouble. Yeah, man. Sorry this caught you off guard. And it sounds a little fair. But my thing is, on your YouTube channel, Kujo, you put sorry Renan had to come to this. Like, you're blaming Ren personally. You didn't say, yo, I want to apologize to Ren. Some of the legal stuff in the back end, got misconstrued. So, we struck your channel unfairly. He could have put that in his comment on his YouTube. So, yeah, I don't know. Seem a little shady. Let's go.
And he seems like quite a nice guy initially. So I'm like, okay,
Right.
maybe this
Yeah,
has
that's
all
what
just
I
been
got.
a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're all right, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation.
Interesting. So he said, to all coming from Ren Sick Boy, I waited over a year for Ren and his team to follow up the terms of contract when they signed for the beat. During this whole period, I've not issued any strikes with the faith that they would make things right. I asked my legal representative not to issue a strike initially. Okay, that's what he said in his message. Unfortunately, they've been delayed in avoiding providing any reasonable terms to my team. With shamefully long periods of silence, respect to the terms, don't spread misinformation, don't lie. Okay, so Ren has no idea what's going on. So you could have put just Ren's team, but you put Ren and his team. It's like they both all were in cahoots or something, unless I'm misunderstanding. But this still sounds weird.
I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation. when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it, and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying, when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway,
Right.
so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Kujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this.
Oh, I get it. Because that is your fault. You know, if you sold a beat without clearing the sample, that's the producer's fault. That's not Ren's fault. So I kind of see why the silence has been like that. But him coming after Ren for what Ren did, that's separate. That seems separate.
In bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated, and I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now.
Right.
To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone first, if this was getting so like blown up.
Right.
Like maybe the lawyers, maybe Kujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that
You say. He said, we can talk on Instagram and email if you want. I've been in negotiations with your lawyers for months without you have yet to pay me the royalties. What? So it almost looked like he's saying one thing on Instagram and another thing on YouTube. That's wild work.
But he did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that Kujo's posted, calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed. And I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Kujo, which should be paid to Kujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which has nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way.
Right.
He's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So
yeah, so that's exactly what I said. Like, once you pay for the beat and you pay for the licensing, that's a whole separate thing now.
Very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit.
Oh yeah,
so
of course.
I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly. Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money, because I want him to get paid his publishing money.
Okay, yeah.
Doesn't affect me in any way. So like, I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. It's not. It's up.
No. I am not that deep into the music industry, but that's like, once you pay for full licensing on the beat, that beat belongs to you. That beat belongs to you, dude. Like, that's not me. Hold up. So like I said on BeatStars, it says there's a sample contained in the beat. It says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get a fair share. I was under the impression that you received a warning and had no idea that the video would be taken down. Then it should have been a copyright claim, not a copyright strike. And the reason the strike was issued because your rep was dragging his feet and playing his games with us, and seemingly our only negotiation tactic was to get a response. Keep in mind, we all thought you were in the loop. I've been in this industry for over 7 years, and it's not the first time I've had to deal with this type of situation. So please excuse my initial lack of faith. Like, I don't want to sound like, but if everyone was paying me correctly, I would still be posting on YouTube and beatstars and making music full time. As it is, I'm working, struggling to make ends meet, to make time for my music. That's why I joined BeatStars Publishing. So someone will have my back and help me get what I owed. I agree with you 100%. I've emailed asking him to get back to you ASAP. So we've been dealing with this situation for months, and hate to see this hurting your art. So yeah, I want to wrap this up immediately. Sounds fair. But I've never heard that it's up to the performer to clear the sample. So you, Kujo, uploaded a beat with a sample in it and that you didn't get cleared. Now, unless I'm mistaken about music industry rules, I was always under the impression that the producer got to get that cleared. The artist is not the one making the beat. So with that being said, if I was Ren, I just take that sample out. But if that sample is a very, if that sample is like a very pivotal part of the beat, then yeah, I get it. But all right.
Up to the producer, but unless there's been a conversation. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample. And I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right? So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here. And he's flipped on his head like, we'll be good to you, you know?
Yeah.
But I've done nothing wrong in this situation.
Right.
Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me.
Right.
They're scratching their head. How can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which also, I didn't actually violate the contract. Not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me. Send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work. So like, send me an email about this. Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email.
So my thing is, if you copyright claim the song still stays up, but yet now Kujo begins to reap the benefits of that beat. Because copyright claims make sure when it's ineligible to be monetized, all the proceeds and everything from each view goes to directly, it's not shared. You know, and I'm saying this as a content creator, it's not shared. So it goes directly to whom it belongs to. So he could have got his money back like that. They could have just said, yo, we're going to demonetize this for the duration until we get back what's owed on the publishing. Cool. That's all. If I'm thinking the wrong way, that could have been bars, right?
From their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right?
Somebody's struggling for money.
15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out.
No, that's not how that works.
Retroactively, so since it's come out to this moment and then into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample,
right,
unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus a £3,000 advance. Out of principle, I wasn't going to give him that. But because like may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put like lies about the situation. Right? But out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right?
I said that earlier.
I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means that now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money, it was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry. But that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right?
No. That's not what happened. I don't think, and here's me inserting my own thoughts, I don't think Kujo expected that song to do that well. And I really can't get over the whole thing when you buy an unlimited sample. And I know some people might disagree with me, but when you buy an unlimited sample, it's unlimited, right? It's unlimited. I may have to ask a beat producer about that. I got one guy in mind I can ask, but I don't know. I figure after you buy the beat, it's completely yours as an artist. Like, yeah. All right, let's go.
Right. And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract.
Let's see. Yo, man, your guy saying you should be owed 100% is crazy. Yeah. Like, there has been any money to be fighting for in the first place if I hadn't pushed it the way I did. I'm not sure why you can't see it, but your lawyer is being a shark. The fact that he wants a bigger split of the master. On top of me paying you $3,000 and having equal publishing split at the third party after I paid for the track already is nuts. That's what I keep harkening on right there. And then he said, I'm sorry, but I have to go this route, dude. If he doesn't budge on this, we're going to, let me make myself a little bit bigger. But if he doesn't budge on this, we're going to have to take it to court, and I'm going to have to put out a statement about the whole thing. I don't really see what other option I have, because I really shouldn't be paying $3,000 plus, losing in addition 25% of the mastering, and even more on the master after all the work and put is insanity to me. I think Ren is just really stuck on the principle of it. You know, he's just stuck on the principle. But if the lawyer found a loophole in the BeatStars contract, yeah, it kind of gets weird after that. I don't know much about the business side, but yeah. So if we had shared an equal cost of making the music video, promoting the track, building a career, selling the record, sure. But if you're taking tens of thousands of dollars a month of work there, and I'm not asking you for that. Say, I get that you made the beat, but I actually put a fair bit of work into the arrangement and writing the vocals after the fact, which you can clearly hear. But then beyond that, spent so much of my own money to even make the track successful after years and years of building a following, who meant there was even an audience for this, years of building a following, who meant there was even an audience for this in the first place. Say, I want you to be paid for your work, but dude, this is insanity. Surely you can see that. Threats to claim 100% of the song from your lawyer is kind of an insulting after I offered to pay you money out of my own pocket. Nah, he doesn't. I'm gonna say that, like, I don't think, dude, he doesn't want a flat check. He wants that continuous pay because he's struggling financially, as he said earlier, right? So I might be wrong, but let's go.
Contract, right? Now, this is what I breached. Apparently, Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested Content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby.
That's why I like reacting to
Rick. I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed.
Dude, you talking about it look like you seem like you annoyed.
Which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boy as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down, because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. The time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea, because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base are giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I want this guy's life to get ruined because of this, like, despite how frustrated it's made me. I didn't want this guy to get ruined. I didn't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of the thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry. Yeah, you and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing, because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. I like Ren's idea. I like Ren's idea. You know, I like Ren's idea on this. Just let's make a completely new song, and then you get paid like you're supposed to. Ren could have been even more generous and actually gave him 100%, so he can get paid on that song. Hold up. So he said, I'll let Ren say it.
He turned it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next, but it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would have also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out of this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like, that he said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to
Why
make
is
me look
my
like the
dude
bad guy.
Kujo
So we
unhinged?
arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional. And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is
made it public.
an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even make the comment, calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this.
That already seems like a red flag and shady. But that also legally keeps him from probably saying something that could be used in the court if it goes that far. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. But if you're trying to resolve a situation, yeah, I'm going to speak. Maybe I'm just a different dude.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which, you know, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word. And I thought that was disrespectful, given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like...
But my thing is all four of you are there. If it was between the lawyers, then the lawyers should be just talking on Zoom or whatever y'all was doing. But if all four of y'all there, it's really to get... So my thing is, it's like, something's weird. Something's weird. I would think if I was Ren, something's weird, but then he got all this smoke on Instagram. Don't make sense to me.
Regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up, brother. And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But it is what it is, man. And then
I like how Ren's standing on business, though. He not gonna split the masters.
This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous. And I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but this is mad. And this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit, whatever. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like semi-amicable. Ends up being...
Let me see, listen. He never incited All right, so I'll let you guys see this too. So maybe you can pause the video, but I'm reading it too. Say, I can understand you informing your community of the status of Sick Boy video, having citing this. Pretending he only came after you because the track was successful. I mean, come on now. That's part of it too. You know, pretending you only saying that he's only asking for more than he's owed, saying he's uncooperative and implying that he's not willing to do anything about it. Those are just lies that you fed your community, and we both know it. I know that all the deceitful people in this industry can make any last person paranoid, but he is not out to get you. He's very strong, anchored sense of justice, and I assure you that he's never meant to step on toes. You tell your fans you expect him to at least come to you directly. Hasn't he told you that he was 100% sure that you were fully involved? Eh, no, no, I don't like that. I don't like what she said. I get it though.
It seems to me like it's like semi-amicable after a while of talking to each other. Like you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like basically the long and short of it is like she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out of pocket, you know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, later on, they would have been like, ran such a violent person or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he had mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health issues. You're not considering what it does to my mental health, are you, when you take down a song that means that much to me? A song that I've poured into, that I'm exposing a part of me that's very vulnerable about my health journey. Like, you're not considering that, are you? All I've done is post publicly about the situation. I've never told anybody to send you guys abuse or anything like that. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now, for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse. Right. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'm not trying to ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video. But I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So, like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But it is up to me to talk about this situation fairly. So, like, we seem to make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about, like, her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD and, like, you know, maybe we just got... And so I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So, like, cool. You know what? Maybe these guys it's just a big misunderstanding and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? You know, but then at this point I start being like, you know what? Maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning, I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract. And then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says. And she made up she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you?
At that point, you need to just go ahead and stop talking to them. I know how you feel, Ren. But some people like this, like, it's almost like they want to see what you say and then kind of twist what you say to make it come back in their favor. Like, you're not going to lose your fan base because of this, Ren. You're not. You really got nothing to lose but money. But I feel that they have everything to lose if they keep that video up. I still don't understand why take it down. You should just you still should have just copyright claimed it. Him talking to the girlfriend, I don't think Ren should have talked to the girlfriend. She ain't got nothing to do. She ain't got nothing to do with this. She got nothing to, he should have just kept his conversation between him, Kujo, two lawyer. Okay? That's it. You ain't got nothing to say to that girl. That girl she ain't signed no contract. She ain't made no beats.
Just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, you know? So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but so I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see I was extremely cooperative when I...
Who just tried to discuss it with Ren. It was the day after the strike. Ren was obviously upset. He said he refused to fully acknowledge that mistake on his end, causing Kujo not to get paid royalties, was at the heart of all this, and kept on going about how Kujo for using the unclear sample, so make it right by accepting and give up all of his shares on the song, which is what went for months without budging and led to the copyright strike. Ren kept on threatening to sue and go public. I don't know about this. This sounds weird.
Found out what was going on. I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Kujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic. I refused to fully acknowledge that a mistake on my end causing Kujo not to get paid was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers, right, failed to correctly register Kujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. They've now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation, fighting for Kujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Kujo because he was being a prick, right? So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on Kujo's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principle still, right? I kept threatening to sue and go public. No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue.
I didn't get that from anything that he wrote.
I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, where's the video? And I wanted to address it all at once. And I also felt like I was being treated extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was something between my lawyers. Ren took in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
Kujo also claimed to me and publicly that he'd been chasing publishing money for over a year with no reply, which is why he was so annoyed, as did his girlfriend. This was another lie, as proven in the next screenshots. I'm just reading, so I'll let you guys read it too. Let me see. But everything is ghosted him to a Bulgarian, showed up at your door. I know you're angry. Wait. And okay, I know you're angry, but everything you're posting or telling me that isn't true makes this situation 1,000 times more complicated. Okay, but wait, you just said it wasn't till Paul emailed. That was April in my understanding. and he contacted Kujo back and tried to get him to give up his publishing over the sample. Did you ever reach out to regarding publishing before the Bulgarian choir situation? Please tell me you did, because it helps you guys, and I'm trying my best to help you guys. Bro, I'm not angry. I just woke up and I have ADHD, so I have no. What? Man, get out of here. I'm not sure he did, and I'm not sure he claimed it. Like I said, I don't remember or know was I involved from everything. Dude, I can show you the screenshot proof. You literally claimed that you were reaching out for a year last night. Yeah, hold up. I know there was a call with regarding the sample back where he tried to get Kujo to give up all his rights to clear it in exchange for 3K. It was a long time ago. This started in April, as far as I know. That's 3 months ago, man, not a year. I think since that the negotiations started. What happened? Bro, until a month, I was working 50 hours a week and completely burnt out. Can't help you here. What is going on Kujo's end? What is going on?
Right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right?
Right.
I'm pissed off.
Right.
I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, it's the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies from you guys about this situation, I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right? And my principles. And I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke, and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like. And I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than like bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, you know. And it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also send a mass email out to everybody. The publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me. Right, because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and the regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second. That song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, you know, like that's gone now. That's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off. Anyway, so I send that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words.
Dang, bro. I get what he's saying. That's why it's important to buy CDs. So you would have it forever. You don't have to stream it or anything. Well, you know, we don't live in that time no more, but I get it.
So I send that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this. It's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss the most that he said when I just lost my cool at this point. I lost all patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher. And he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, all right, peace. Your music sucks, by the way. Which is really funny, considering, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honor, or it was really good to work with me. Funny. It's funny, hypocritical. Funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork.
Bro, Kujo, ain't nobody buying your beats no more, bro. You just ruined. I hope somebody buy your beats. I wouldn't buy your beats. If you're an artist out there on YouTube, I wouldn't buy Kujo's beats. If he put Ren through this, I wouldn't buy it.
Which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Kujo. And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Kujo Beatdown. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself, all the beats are mine. And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boy because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. So for the anniversary of Sick Boy the album, you will be getting Sick Boy the beat remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it. So look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping that's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, alright? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his, before they start complaining about blah blah blah, artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow, and so I got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man, and I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you, sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
Okay. And me, sorry I didn't put a lot of comments in between what Ren was saying. A lot of the music industry business part and a lot of the text message, I kind of got disinterested in reading all the texts. Because it doesn't further it wouldn't further my perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm already I'm already majority on Ren's side here. I think if you pay unlimited for unlimited licensing, that's the artist. The publishing has to deal with that. So why is the beat maker coming to the artist talking about pay me my money? It almost sounds like they wanted to bully Ren into paying they wanted to skip through the publisher and make Ren do it out of his own pocket and get it faster. I'm not entirely sure if Kujo or his girlfriend ever made a valid point, in my opinion, in regards to how they was dealing with this, because they was definitely different branches in different ways to be able to handle this situation cordially. They, like Ren said, they could have made a completely different song and he would have made more money. Isn't that the goal? So in my personal thought, it looks like Kujo struggling for money and he need a big payout now. And he need to get his life together. I don't know how much this is going to affect Kujo's career as a beat maker. I think this definitely soils his reputation a little bit. But if he would do this to Ren, he would do this to anybody. I'm going to watch Top Music Attorney's reaction to this, just to get the business side, because I know that's her strong point. But with that being said, that's all I can say. I'm on Ren's side. Can't wait to see the video. Can't wait to see the Sick Boy remix too. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, man, please hit the like button, subscribe, man. I'm gonna get out of here. We've been here for an hour. Peace.